This is a 2001 Honda Civic. In this I'm going to show you how to repair your trunk and gas flap cable. Alright, first off, what you're going to want to do is take off your cover for, basically this is what goes around your hood latch. Pull out, so out and then back, that'll come off. Next, I actually removed the, this is by your seat belt holder. This one is a little more tricky to get out. If you start at the top, work your way over just a little bit, you can get enough room and just kind of slide it off. That'll help you to remove your lower door sill. Now, with your door sill, I have it faced this way so you can kind of see what's going on. That is where your latch is, so it actually sits in like this. So you have 3 clips on the side, which would be right there. Then you have your other 3, which are on the top. So you can kind of peel this back, peel that back, and then also on the top of this latch, there is a Phillips head screwdriver, or screw, sorry, which you'll use a Phillips head screwdriver for. And just remove that screw, and then you can actually pop that whole panel off, get it out of the way. Then holding this in place is a 10mm bolt right there. Hard to see. Come on. Anyways, it's right there, 10mm bolt. You don't have to take it all the way out because on the switch itself, it has basically ability to slide it off. Now what I did is I actually went to the auto parts store before I knew what I was getting into, got a cable fix for it, which is basically just a 2-part clamp that closes over the cable, keeps it from wobbling, and that is if the cable itself is still intact, however broken off of the sheath or the end holder to where it's pivoting and binding. Now in this case, it was actually broken off completely. The cable was broken off completely. The end was still in the holder itself. So the customer didn't want to pay the price to replace the cable, which actually isn't that bad of a job. But what I did was I came up with a fix and chopped, well, basically pulled slack from the cable, from the trunk, back up toward the passenger compartment, cut back numerous pieces of the sheath that goes around the cable itself because the cable was seized inside of this. So I cut back numerous pieces, made sure that I didn't get too far back, you know, and sprayed it with a lot of this. And then after I got it freed up pretty well, moved back and forth, I used a lot of this and just made sure that it was gonna basically keep moving. Then, you know, I guess while you're trying to get that freed up, hooking of vice grips on the end is very nice so that you don't get stabbed by all the stray cables, like I did numerous times. You increase your vocabulary pretty well. So, back to this. Now, what I did was I took the broken end housing and I reversed it. So this is actually the part that would be flipped around, that would be connected onto the cable. There was actually a housing that the cable slid into. So I cut that off, drilled out the excess cable that was still left in there, cleaned it all up using this, and then took a 2-part epoxy and put it on the cable itself, not in the housing, on the cable itself, because what you're going to do is you're going to slide that housing backwards, which it allows enough room to go actually over the cable housing. So slide that down, twist it in place, get it down as far as you can. Make sure that your cable is still functioning so you don't get any epoxy on it. If you do, I would recommend just keep working it, or spray some more either liquid wrench or something that's not going to allow it to bond, and keep working it until that, well, I used 5-minute epoxy so that it was nice and quick, but keep working it until that has set up enough. So then, in order to just enhance my fix, I took the cable fix that I bought, and filled that with epoxy because it's a two-part clamp that just kind of closes over the cable. And it also connects onto the housing, or the end housing. So I filled that with epoxy, closed it over, put the two metal retainers on, and I actually kind of propped this in place with using this. I propped it straight up, just for setting wise, so nothing would go back into the cable. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to loop this cable into the holder itself right here. Notice I have a bolt in there. That's because I'm not going to be able to get a cable stay that is going to be out of the way. So I'm actually going to loop that cable around, up and through here, put the bolt back through, and I'm going to connect the cable stay, which is basically a little cylindrical metal piece with a screw in it, kind of like what you would see on a bicycle brake. Slide that over it and butt it up to the bottom of the holder, and that will actually end up staying out of the way when you're closing that to open your trunk or open your gas latch. Now, by sliding that, tightening it, you'll actually still have adjustment if one or the other is wrong. Pretty much where your starting point is going to be is all the way out is trunk, all the way in is gas, and right there I'm not actually pushing the gas latch open yet, so that's pretty much a good starting point. So once you get it into the holder, clip it in obviously, and then loop it around. Once it's at that point, tighten it off as best you can, check your adjustment, should be good to go. Then just replace your panels. Remember, start with your sill first, then you can go either to your front piece of plastic, which is basically hook over the end. Yeah, I've really messed up hands. I'm a full-time mechanic either, so yeah, use of concrete, stay in school. So hook this over, then get it into place, click it in on the end, then go back to your back piece, then click that in, and if I did say it correctly, your sill plate goes in first. So yeah, you should actually be good to go. I've done similar things like this, so I am actually, like I said, not a full-time mechanic, but I wrench on things probably equally as much as I do my regular work. So anyways, there's not much I haven't fixed, and I hope this helps you out, and good luck.